Hello, friends! Today's recipe is basically a tribute to my Polish heritage. This is something that we used to make in my hometown and my house, and we loved it. It's a staple, and you can still find it in a restaurant. I know everyone has a different take on this recipe, but this is my take, and I'm so happy to share it with you. It's super healthy, packed with vitamins, easy, and it goes well with all sorts of meats and salads. Okay, so what we need is a sauerkraut, and I do understand that you can make your own sauerkraut, but I'm gonna take a shortcut and just buy sauerkraut ready to go. We need two packages of sauerkraut, the best quality you can possibly find, and do not get rid of the water, the juice, sauerkraut juice. We need this, so just let it be. Just put it aside. It's actually super healthy if you want to drink it. I know some people like sour, like I do. So sometimes I get tempted and I just drink it. Again, it's packed with vitamins, so it's good for you. So we need unsalted butter in a nice little pan or a pot, whatever your preference is. Just put some butter in. I like to use unsalted because this lets me control the salt intake. I can always put some salt in, but you can't take it away. Simple as that. So good quality onions. I like organic onions. I just made a trip in the morning to Whole Foods. I got some onions. I like a lot of onions. In this case, I'm using one big one and just let it sweat. So we don't want to burn it, but we want to let it sweat in a pan with some butter in. This looks wonderful. I love the smell of onion, and onion is a must in this recipe. It goes so well with a sauerkraut. So just let it sweat. I'm happy today because it's my day off. So I'm running errands and I'm cleaning, organizing, cooking, prepping, you name it, I do it. But I don't have to work. So it's a good day. I need a break, and this is relaxing to me. I love to cook. So we're going to start with our aromatics and our spices. Let's go ahead and do black pepper. Also margarine. And I like to use a lot, but you just go with your guts. Whatever you want to use, we're going to use. Also, bay leaf, allspice, and caraway seed. So just basics. And don't be afraid to use aromatics, and don't be afraid to use spices. We need a lot of flavor because we work with only a couple ingredients. So we will make sure that we get the best taste and the best texture with a couple of ingredients. And caraway seed is really crucial. If you don't have it, just get it. Really, it's healthy. It's awesome. And I always say, educate yourself about spices you're using because they do have some hidden health benefits, and they're good and multi-purpose. So it's awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and put our sauerkraut is drained. Again, we want to leave the juice separate, but do not toss it. Don't get rid of it. Just let it be. I know I mentioned before, but it's so tasty. Just sip it, just a little bit. Also, we need fresh carrot. In this instance, I'm just going to go ahead and go with the one big carrot. We need carrot for color. We want carrot for texture and taste. Also, carrot is sweet. So instead of sugar or honey, we can use a carrot. There you go. I know some people like to use sugar. I don't like to add sugar in my sauerkraut. I don't like to do that. I just like to kind of have it sour, nice and sour. We're gonna put some liquid in. You can do veggie broth or water or chicken broth. I'm using chicken broth, but you can go ahead and make it a little bit more vegetarian. And prior to adding your sauerkraut, that would be a great time to add some meat. Let's say you want to use your bacon or some sausage. You want to do that. If you want to keep it vegetarian, just again, skip the step. But if you want to put some protein in, I would definitely go with a nice bacon or a nice sausage prior to putting in your sauerkraut. So we're going to saute the meats. And I'm so sorry I didn't mention that before. And don't put too much water in or don't push too much broth in. We're not making a soup, so it's not supposed to be a soup consistency. But we want just a little bit more liquid because this will be simmering for quite some time. So we want to make sure that there's some liquid in it so it won't evaporate too long. In a nice separate pan, so we have to make a roux. Roux is super easy. It's basically melted butter with flour. We will make sure that we won't burn the flour and the butter mixture. We want to make sure it's cooked all the way through. So we have to make sure that your roux is cooked all the way through. So it's a simple tactic to give your meal some flavor, some body and texture. So it gets, in this instance, we get so fluffy, we get a little bit more creamy. So roux is a nice little, um, kitchen helper. Can you say that roux is a kitchen helper? It probably could. So some unsalted butter and some flour, and we're gonna make sure it's cooked all the way through. And once it's done, we're gonna add it to our sauerkraut. So do that, make sure, and just keep an eye on it. Don't start cleaning or vacuuming or whatever. Just keep an eye on this. This step needs your attention. So and your patience. So make sure it's cooked all the way through. We don't want a lot, just a little bit. We just want to add some nice texture to our sauerkraut and want some creaminess. And when you see if it's bubbly, it's cooking, it's nice, it's a medium heat. And I'm just really happy today. I'm relaxing and just making meal for my family, which is very rewarding and smells good. And I just feel like this is how your kitchen is supposed to smell like. It's supposed to smell like food and family time and enjoying basically well-made meal together. It's about togetherness, just about being close to each other, enjoying sharing food. Okay, you can add some sauerkraut juice that we saved. If you feel like you want to add more, just add more. But it's all about tasting. So before you add more in, just taste it and see how you feel about it. Again, it's not supposed to be a soup. It's supposed to be a nice sauerkraut with some other things in it. Super easy. Works well with potatoes, with meat, as a side dish, or on its own with some bread dipped in. So you have your bread, good quality sourdough bread dipped in your sauerkraut. It's so healthy and it's very European. Oh my, it looks so good and it smells so good. You know what I like to do? I like to make some potatoes, like a baby, young spring potatoes, and I like to eat that with the sauerkraut. It's so yummy. Or a nice little sausage, a baked or a simmered sausage, or whatever sausage, it doesn't have to be a sausage, pretty much any meat, and this as a side dish with potatoes. Or just nice and hearty, good quality sourdough bread dipped in my sauerkraut. It's just so like comforting. It's just awesome. So in this instance, we're gonna add our roux to our beautiful sauerkraut. So what you can take some liquid from the sauerkraut and put it in the roux, and then kind of make sure it's combined nicely so it'll be easier for you to mix it with the rest of the sauerkraut later on. So start with the liquid and just mix it with the roux, and then once it's done, just put it directly in your sauerkraut. You can skip that step if you're short on time. Just put the roux directly in your sauerkraut. It's gonna simmer together anyway. But I kind of like to see the texture changing, the creaminess starting, and just like I like to see that milky texture in my sauerkraut. Then I basically combine it together and I let it simmer for a short period of time. It doesn't have to be. So flour's already cooked, so you're not gonna get sick. But you don't need to, spend an hour finishing this up. It's pretty much almost done. So just let it simmer for a little bit, making sure that all the ingredients are combined beautifully. And you can already tell how the texture is changing, how the creaminess is happening, and it all looks so delicious. And honestly, this little pot could probably feed an army of hungry people, and it's just a nice side dish or a dish on its own, especially if you add some protein in, like sausage or bacon. That will add some texture again. It's a little bit more hearty, but at times I like to basically enjoy it on its own, just like that, vegetarian version. But your sauerkraut is delicious, it's filling, and it's healthy. And I'm just so happy that I was able to share that with you. Please subscribe to my channel and leave your comments. Thank you again, guys. God bless.